Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, turbo news. There is some turbo news that did come out, which we'll talk about in just a second. And yes, we will also be looking at the turbo chart, analyzing it. Where do we think it's going to go? We'll look at Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin a little bit as well, as everything is correlated to the head of the snake, that being Bitcoin. So let's just jump right into news. Turbo, we can see introducing new batch of supported chains and CCIP enabled tokens now available on transporter.io, right? Expanded chain support. These two adds new tokens added, a Poo coin. We have some other coin. We have Nero, we have Sheeb, we have the Soul Protocol, and then we have Turbo Toad token. So, this isn't a direct Turbo, update or win, but it is still going to impact Turbo's price in the future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you this, right? Because I see people say this every time, and I'm going to explain this every time. Just because there's good news coming out now does not mean price is automatically going to pump. You have to realize most of the news that impacts price right away is when a coin is way smaller than this, right? It's way smaller than this in terms of market cap, in terms of, how much money is going in and out. And, usually when it's green, price is not shy of flying high. Okay. That is the reality. But when the whole market is bleeding and correcting itself, right? When we look at Bitcoin very, very quickly, right, we can see, Bitcoin overall has been down these last few days. We were just at 100, pretty much almost at 103,000. And then a couple days later, we were pretty much almost at 91,000, right? Dropping over $10,000. So when the head of the snake crashes, it is literally irrelevant if the news is great for a coin, unless they're literally at such a microscopic level of, hundred thousands of market cap, maybe low millions. Like that is it. Okay. In general, generally speaking, what this news does for the coin is that we see Turbo right now, being at a certain price, right? It's going to do what it has to do because I believe in the charts. I believe in the candles. It is going to go into specific areas that we have marked up, here 0.0075 as a high possibility. And, just in case there is a big, massive dump, we have this weekly order block of, 0.006 pretty much, right? It is going to do what it has to do. Okay, that is just reality. But what news allows for Turbo to do in the future is for it to pump extra high. If we believe Turbo was going to hit an all-time high of 10 cents, every good news that comes out with Turbo allows it to increase higher and higher and higher when altcoin season happens. Okay. Once again, when altcoin season happens, right? It is literally irrelevant when the timing of, news coming out, if the market is in a consolidation or if it's bleeding, right? If it's bleeding, then it's going to be in a downtrend and it does not matter, right? It literally does not matter. So, and that applies for pretty much every single coin, unless, like I said, they are a baby coin. Now, with that being said, right, we did talk about this zone, right? We talked about how we are creating higher, lower highs, right? We have a high, lower high, lower high. We broke this low at the moment, right? And we have this low over here. So at the moment, we are creating a staircase down, right? We can see down, boom, boom, right? Uh, price action can always re-break and start going to the upside, right? Price action re-breaking is a common thing, right? So sometimes it looks a little bit scary until it doesn't, right? That is, just the name of the game for trading, and that is why when you trade leverage trading, right, something like or forex pairs, you just simply wait for confirmation. Okay, you don't always have to force a trade. With crypto, it's a little different. It's a little bit more forgiving, right? You pretty much just have to, in a way, literally buy the dips, sell near the tops to make money. I mean, it is very, very simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it, right? It's really not hard. You simply buy on red days. You simply buy, you know, relative lows. So we can even see some of the relative lows are pretty much, you can see, touching the top here, 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 here. We have this special candle, right? So we can see somewhere in the 0.0075 area to 7.8 or even to 7.2 is considered the new low, right? You want to be buying there, given the context, right? That this is the last relevant lows. So you want to be even buying here, 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 here. It doesn't matter. You just want to be buying fairly low. And then when the time comes and you know, based off whether you listen off me or you have your own knowledge or you listen to other people or, you join a community or what doesn't matter what you do, right? As long as you just pretty much sell when it's going to be up, you're going to be making money. It is that simple, ladies and gentlemen, right? I understand things can look scary. I understand some of you have probably bought when Coinbase was getting announced, when Turbo was pumping for those couple of days really high up. You probably saw it on an exchange. You probably came across a YouTuber, right? And you're probably like, oh, like you're so excited because you got in. A couple days later, you were up, up, up. And all of a sudden, before you know it, things don't look great. And now you're worried, right? That is just the name of the game. It is why trading is why this whole thing is very mentally stressing or stressful when you don't know what you're doing. And that is the reality, right? This is why I created this channel to help people out. I could be the guy that simply reads you just only news and says, "Oh yeah, guys, here's this type of candle and this," and draw you some like BS. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mainly be the guy that, yes, still provides the news, still provides certain other aspects, but mainly good technical analysis because I feel like there's a low quality of that. Okay. So that is why I'm here, is to help you mentally. So we've been talking about this price point for a while, and we can literally see that it retests off of certain highs and has also multiple lows. And we can just see, generally speaking, right, that this is the last pretty much range over here, pretty much 0.0066 to 0.0075. That this is the last general range where this is the last relevant bottom. And, we've talked about how Bitcoin will be pumping in the future unless we are all wrong about altcoin season, which I am not worried, right? People thought altcoin season and everything was canceled when Bitcoin dumped here, when Bitcoin went down to 50K. Once again, when it dumped down to 57, people have been saying it's over, it's over, it's over. Just stop. Just stop. It's just because it dumps, it's not over. Just because it pumps doesn't mean it's going up forever. I don't understand why people keep like flip-flopping and not realizing that this is just part of the game. So we can see previously, right? When we go back to Bitcoin data, this is important because this affects Turbo directly, right? We can see over here that we did pretty much go eventually sideways from January 2nd to eventually, a little bit in February, right? The first week of February. So a month in the week. But like I said before, the context is very, very different. We have a lot more money involved. It's going to take longer. So, even if it takes, until the end of January, like it did with the last cycle before it broke up, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Another couple more weeks of what it has to do before it breaks out would not surprise me. And this time it started earlier, right? It's technically started pretty much mid-November. It did its typical thing where it's doing good, and then near mid-December it dumps just like it did last time. So for me, this is just history repeating itself. Market makers, they know people are going to be panicking, right? Another thing I want to talk about quickly, right, in this turbo video is that the Bitcoin dominance continues to be going up. We will continue to monitor this, right? If that happens, the altcoin season will be bigger, but at the moment, altcoins will bleed out a little more, and that's just reality. But that is it, pretty much, ladies and gentlemen. This was the Turbo News. Hopefully, you guys still feel good. We've been talking about this dump for some time. Anyways, I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.